Hey, what is up everyone? Today I'm taking a look at the real grade expansion effect unit Seraphim Feather for using with the Wing Gundam 0EW, and that is the real grade version. As you can tell from the black and white box, this is a premium Bandai only exclusive, and this came out in 2015, so this has been around for a while, meaning it might be a little hard to get your hands on. So if you want one, you can get yours where I got mine, and that was through BUYEE. Link down there in the description. So this right here is what we get once we snap everything together. So it is a full display stand with a little bit of an image in the middle, kind of like a picture frame. It might be obvious, but I will mention that this does not come with a real grade Wing 0EW. That one you have to actually provide yourself. So just making that clear, you need your own real grade wing. So as for a bit of a comment on the build, this is super simple and not really made up of all that many parts. Inside the box we've only got a couple of bags of runners, the frame is one piece, it does not have to be cut out. When it comes to the feathers, we've got two identical stands in clear, and all the clips that clip onto this are all identical as well, so you just cut everything out and you don't have to worry about mixing anything up. Then when it comes to the feathers, these are all different, so you do have to pay attention while popping those on to make sure you get it just right. These are transparent, have a bit of a milky, opaque look, and they all just pop onto ball joints, so they are posable. Finally, then we do have a bit of a stand in here. This is a little bit on the old school side and kind of reminds me of the old high-grade action bases, but it does have a whole lot of extra additional pieces. This does require a base adapter in order to attach the Wing Zero on, so in case you're planning on getting this for a different kit, be aware you will need a kind of square to whatever you need base adapter. The one for the wing, of course, comes included in the box. So in order to get the Wing Gundam attached onto this base, well, you have to attach the included adapter that comes with the Wing Gundam. That's this one right here, the square one. You then just pop that onto the stand just like so. This holds on extremely tight, and we have two different ways of adjusting this. So that is a lower segment here, which allows you to change the angle. The only one that really seems to work is the highest angle. And we have a second adjustment up top. This has actually got 2 points of articulation, both of which have a screw in their build, so that does mean it is quite tight. This might be a bit of a divisive point, might divide your opinion on whether it's good or bad. Some people like action bases that don't have screws in their build, and some people like ones that do have screws. It means it holds very tight, but it does mean there's some extra tools required for the build. So in order to make this a little bit easier, I did move those big arms with all of the wings back out of the way so I can adjust the wings first, making sure to spread them out and pose them as dynamically as possible. But it is at this point that I realized that the way that the manual tells you to attach these feathers is not the way they are on the front of the box at all. They're a completely different rearrangement with the bigger feathers towards the front. So it does seem there is no one standard approach to this. You can do it whatever way you want. All of these feathers are universal, so are their attachment points, so that means you can attach them on whatever way that suits the pose that you want to pull off. So there's a full spin of what this looks like once it's up on this base with those Seraphim feathers, and this looks phenomenal. I will mention, I'm not sure if you actually put any spinning bases up on your shelves or not, but if you do, you will notice that this is kind of aligned towards the front a lot, so it does rotate a kind of funny kind of way. So this would be better for traditional, standard, non-moving displays. But either way, this looks phenomenal, and those wings with their semi-transparent but mildly milky opaque look catch the light perfectly. So if you're like me, there's one thing going through your mind right now, and that is, if this works with the real grade, well, does it work with the absolutely awesome master grade Verka? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to try and take the arm segments with all of the feathers and pop it onto the Verka's base instead of trying to stick the Verka onto this, because this is it's a light little stand, so it may not work. And from what I can see, these will fit, and they do fit, and that is what two of them look like attached. So this works. Sure, the feathers are a little bit lower down, but they look like they're falling from underneath those big armor wings. This works. So if you've been considering getting this just for using with your master grade or any of the master grade wings, well, this does fit. It's compatible with the action base that comes with the Wing Verka, and it looks astounding. So yeah, this could work with anything. You could probably use this with a high grade too, as long as you have the right base adapter. Honestly, this is a cool little kit and a great little display. So it's about time we got back to the real grade, not the master grade, because that is what this is for using with. So there are two ways to actually use this base. Well, there's a whole multitude of ways if you come up with them yourself, but there is two different sides to the particular picture for two specific parts in the Endless Waltz movie. So the first one we've been seeing through the whole review so far is my favorite side, and I was going to leave it on this one, but you know, should probably show the other side too. And that is the one that is set in space with the feathers flying everywhere. Now that is to replicate that classic scene when we first see the Wing Zero costume, where it like busts out of that containment and finally spreads those over the top, crazy iconic Gundam wings. But yeah, that does mean there is one other pose you can replicate with this particular stand. So you're able to actually take the picture out of this and flip it around to this other side. And this other side, honestly, to me, looks like it's an obituary for Hero Yui. It kind of has that bit of a vibe, but this, of course, is to replicate the final scene in which we see Wing Zero EW. That, of course, is it firing its Buster rifles to the point where it absolutely just falls to pieces. So in order to do this, we are going to have to grab the Buster rifles, equip up the Wing Zero EW just like so, and then just move around the pose a little bit. Once again, I will mention that this stand is rock solid because of the screws in its build, so this is more solid than your average stand. This is not going to go anywhere. This is nice and secure. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and the great thing about this display stand is not only does it look great with the real grade Wing Gundam Zero EW attached to it, you can actually use this with pretty much whatever you want. The base adapter means you can use it with any real grade or high grade that you want to customize to have those kind of big wings thrown off those feathers, or you can actually steal all of the feathers and use them with the master grade kit. Whether you've got the old school master grade Wing Zero EW or you've got the brand new Verka, this can be used with everything. It looks very nice. Those big, milky clear feathers look incredible, and it is nice that you can actually attach an image into it. Of course, once again, you're not limited by putting the image that you get in the kit into it. You can put whatever you want. I'm pretty sure this was a stand that was available before to put whatever you want into it, just it didn't come with the feathers. But yeah, there isn't really much else to say about this, so if you do want one of your own, you can get yours where I got mine. That is through BUYEE, and the link is down there in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla and Mecha reviews, and I will see you next time. Once again, I cannot finish this video right here without thanking those who support me here on the channel as members and over on Patreon, including Craig Jerry, Caleb Engelhart, Van Fawn, Global Frequency Studios, Lauren Sihak, Joseph Kukluk, Mr. Winter, Forsetti, Joe, RG 59061, and Gunpla UK Limited.